What's up, guys? Starting today's video, I have a bunch of energy. I just drank a bang. It's 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm inside the car talking to you guys because my neighbor's blasting music and I don't want to get copyrighted. So but a lot of things has happened over the past 3 days. I mean, first off, we sold my stock EK front and rear seats. I sold my B series spark plug cover, and I sold my old NRG steering wheel that I had laying around, and all that helped me fund this Burton Racing cop kit. I found it on Facebook Market. I messaged him. I sent the link to Brian for him to check it out. And for the price, is not bad. I mean, I paid 200 bucks for the Burton Racing harness, the Apollo tuning cop kit conversion, and then we also got some coil packs on top of that. I'm probably going to sell these coil packs because these coil packs are meant for a D17. The coil packs that we're going to need for my setup is going to be K20. And then on top of that, we need to get the coil plate. And then on top of that, we may need to get some new spark plugs. But since this car is boosted and the way it's built and stuff like that, I'm hoping that they have the right spark plugs in here with the resistor. But I'm going to check that before we do the first startup with this whole setup. But we are in the coupe right now, and I just want to show you a couple things inside the coupe. So, showing you guys the passenger side. So, here's the Burton Racing wire that comes from the engine bay and comes into here, which plug into the ECU. Gives you a bunch of length. Now, I'm not too exactly sure what happened here, but as you guys can tell, it looked like they snipped and, you know, added another wire through. But it is holding. It looks like the correct pin as well, so I'm not too sure why the camera is glowing like this. Hold on, let me. All right. So here's the plug, but it is the correct pin, but I'm just trying to figure out why would you cut this unless it was like ripped out at some point. But I mean, this pin is in there. I mean, this wire feels a lot more sturdier than this one, but the pin is in there, and I mean, I don't really see an issue going on with this. But if we do have an issue here, I'm probably going to take this wire out and try to reconnect the original wire in there, and hopefully that works a lot better. Super cheap. I mean, I can't really complain, and this is pretty much all ran and ready. So here's the wire from the engine bay. This is the Burton Racing kit, cop kit that goes into the interior of the car, so it plugs into the ECU. Then here is my ECU wires right here. I need to tape up some of the wires. Some of them are coming apart. As you guys can tell, there's an exposed white wire right there, and I don't know what happened to these pins, but they are beat the fuck up, which we need to, you know, get that fixed. But we have the ECU out because I'm waiting for Brian to go home because he's at the junkyard right now, and then I'm gonna have him inspect the ECU, the chip, and maybe we'll chill over there. But once we get that done, then the ECU side right here is gonna be completely done, and I'm gonna show you guys the engine bay. So we are in the engine bay area. I just want to show you guys the Burton Racing setup. Here is the wires that goes to right here to the coil packs. Now, like I said, these are D17. K20 sits a lot different, and I'm pretty sure these are D17. But in the description, he did say it's K20, but I doubt it because he did say that this setup was for a D series turbo. So I'm guessing these are D series coil packs. I mean, I could probably take a look at it somewhere and look at a VIN, but these are Denso. So I'm probably gonna pull up there's a code number that I could look up and see what kind of coils these are. But he did say that these are K series, but from the looks of it, it looks like D17 because K series orientation of these plugs looks way different. But here's the harness right here, which connects it to this. And then I have the ground for my setup. I have the ground right here, which runs up to the top. I would have it at the bottom over here, but I only have one Dizzy bolt because the original Dizzy that was on this car was a OBD2 Dizzy, and one of the ears were cut off to make it fit for the VTEC head and stuff like that. But yeah, then coming over here, try to explain it the best that I can. There are two wires, so one is power and one is the what's it called, but one goes to black and yellow, the other one goes to blue, and these are the wires right here. I have it taped up down here, tucked away, really hidden, can't really see anything. Then we took everything, all the guts in here out, like the igniter and the coil, because you know we're not going to use those. Then we also snipped some wires out of this to take out, because the only thing that's in here is going to be the I think it's called the cylinder sensor and some other sensors that's in there. But when I was reading it up on the forums and stuff, they said that if this setup doesn't start, there's a good possibility that this distributor is bad as well. But I hope the distributor is not bad. I mean, the coil and the igniter was bad, but you know, there's only gears in here, so there's no way that those are bad as well. But I do have a spare, or I do have the original distributor inside the house that I'm gonna keep just in case this one's bad some way somehow. But there is that. Also trying to find a way to make this look a little bit cleaner. I'm definitely gonna run it like this. I think this looks pretty clean. And then yeah, that's pretty much it for the Burton Racing harness setup. Really simple. It's just since this is OBD1, you guys know there's the one big plug and the little small plug, which is blue and black and yellow. You pretty much cut that one off because you're not going to need that anymore. And then you use the blue and the black and yellow and then plug it into the Burton Racing harness, and then you ground it out right here. Then you run that one wire inside to the vehicle, and this just comes out to your coil packs. And that's pretty much it. Super simple setup. And yeah, I'm super hyped. I mean, I got the kit for a really cheap price, and me getting new coil packs, spark plugs, and you know, the plate itself, it's still going to be pretty cheap. So yeah, just to give you guys a quick update. All right, guys, so we are in the truck right now. We're heading towards Brian's side of town. He's going to be doing the soldering on my ECU for me, and I'll show you guys his build. His build has been coming along really quick as well. He got the motor in. He's making some AN lines for some other stuff for his build, and it's getting pretty close. He just powered up his ECU not that long ago, so his car should be pretty much almost done by spring-ish. I mean, technically it is spring, but it's 70% chance snowing tomorrow, so I'm not claiming it's spring. But his car is pretty much almost done. I'm pretty sure he'll get it started by the end of April, probably, more than likely. And then probably get a tune, and it should be ready by our Cottonwood event. I think that's one of our biggest events every year, is the Cottonwood one. It's on July. It's usually by the end of June or July-ish time, and we usually host a meet at Cottonwood Shelter 4. Biggest lot, big shelter, outside, usually a really nice time, really hot out, and everybody just have a good time. Just pull up, park, chill, talk to some people, talk to some people that's been in the car game for a really long time and stuff like that. And we also see a bunch of dope cars that comes out at the Cottonwood event. It's not too far from everybody, and you know, everybody's been to Cottonwood at one point in time. But all I need left is K20 or K24 coil pack or coil on plugs. I was watching Young Static's video, and he ran K24 coil packs in his car. So I think either or should work, as long as it's Denso and NGK. Those are the only coil packs that we should run on our builds, from what I've seen on the website. And then spark plug matters as well. I'm not exactly sure what spark plugs are in my car, but we're definitely going to be getting some new ones if it's not the right ones. But I'm debating if I should run BKR 7E11s. That is what the other Brian, the tuner Brian, told me to run in my car. But since it is a coil pack or coil on plug setup, I've been seeing a lot of people running iridiums and making like 803 horsepower with the iridium. So I'm not exactly too sure. I just know that the BK7 RE11s are a step colder, while everything else is like heat 6, and BK7s are heat 7s or heat range of 7. So I'm not exactly too sure on that. I'm gonna text Brian and get his input on that and see. But if he says to run BK7s, then I'm gonna run BK7s. But if he says any other ones, I'll just run those. But the only reason why I said iridiums is because PFI Speed had the same issue tuning a car, and it was the spark plugs on a coil unplugged setup, and they just said that to run the iridiums. But that video was like 3 years ago. I don't know how different it is currently, but we just gotta keep that in mind. All right, guys. So we are leaving Brian's crib. I just dropped off the ECU because he has both of the kids, and the wifey went out. So he said he's gonna get it done over the weekend. We're also gonna do the BBG setup as well because my ECU doesn't have the BBG setup, but we do have the BBG solenoids and stuff. Pretty much the whole car is ready for BBG and a Honda. But if you guys didn't know, the car is tuned on Neptune. So all I need now is a Honda S300, and we're not sure, or Brian's not sure that the setup can run without Honda. I believe it can because the cop setup only needs power and signal for it to work, and it's not like I'm running a T1 cam like what he is. Mine is basically the cop setup is just replacing the distributor, and the only thing that it's gonna do is give it more spark from the setup. I mean, the Dizzy itself is still gonna be the main priority of the ignition degree, so it should work with the Neptune ECU, or like the chip ECU, because that's what they say. But we will have to figure that out once we get the whole thing done. But I'm gonna still plug it in and give it a try to start. It should start up in theory, but to make use of the cop setup is for sure having S300. But yeah, what's up, guys? As you guys can tell, we're in the game room right now. Just trying to close out this video that you guys are currently watching, but I just want to comment some stuff real quick. One being that the coil-on pack kit. So when I was talking to Brian said that I need a S300 or some sort of tuning solution to enable the cop kit setup. The different thing about this cop kit setup is that it's using a chip instead of the Honda coil-on plug setup, which is completely separate, as far as I can tell from reviews and looking at the instructions from Burton Racing, Nomi's Industries, and Apollo Tuning, that uses chip instead of like kind of a mini standalone like Honda uses. And from reviews and stuff, a lot of people are having issues with Honda coil on plug kit, so that's why I didn't go with that. And on top of that, I'm not running a S300. I am running a chipped Neptune ECU. And basically, with the Apollo Tuning coil converter kit, it uses a chip that needs to be pinned into the ECU. Then it has two wires, one going to certain pins and the other two going straight to the coil packs. And in the instructions and in the description of this chip setup, you're able to use this cop kit setup on a completely stock ECU. It doesn't need to be a chip ECU or a ECU with an S300. So basically, you don't have to enable the coil on plug kit through Honda at all, because it is getting its brain power and information through that chip itself. So this is why I like the chip setup a lot more than the Honda coil on plug kit, because the Honda coil on plug kit has its own brain system that needs to be wired into the ECU, while this chip is pinned into the ECU, and all it does is connect two wires from the pin of the ECU going out to the coil on plug kit. Now, it should work. I mean, I've seen videos of people installing this chip setup. All they did was solder it in. You don't need a tuning solution ECU to get your car started with a coil on plug kit. Basically, it just replaces your igniter and your coil on your distributor, and it's still using the distributor for certain things, for like crank sensor and some other stuff. Now, Brian's car is a little bit more complicated because he has Haltech, and I'm not exactly sure if he's still using the Honda coil on plug kit. I think he is not, but he does have a cop kit set up on his car, but he is also running a T1 cam and some other stuff, and that he needs to enable all that stuff through the ECU, which is through Haltech, and get that all figured out. Now, for my setup, the cop kit I get is pretty much retrofitted for a stock complete or a completely stock ECU, like for OBD1 or OBD2, and you just gotta wire in 2 wires, ground 1 wire onto the distributor, pin the chip into the ECU, and then that's how the power, ground, its signal, and everything it needs, or like the brains for the coil unplug kit to work. Now, I think we still need to mess with the distributor for ignition. So I have my distributor marked already from my previous distributor, and all I did was just line it up, lock it down with the ground, and it should completely work once we get the chip done and returned. But yeah, if you guys are wondering if you guys can run a cop kit on your Honda or on a stock ECU and stuff like that, you can, as long as it's that chip that's pinned into the ECU and everything's wired correctly. Then you should be able to run a cop setup, unless you're running Hondata or something else that is kind of like a standalone and that doesn't get um pinned into the or soldered and pinned into the ECU, because I believe those Honda coil on plug kits that are standard or that are standalone needs to be wired in instead of being soldered in. And then on top of that, once you wire it in, you also have to enable that Honda coil on plug kit through the ECU. While these chips and these other stuff, you don't have to do that at all. It does all that for you, which is a super easy method on doing a cop kit for your car. So if you guys are planning on doing a cop kit, I do recommend it. Like I said, you can use it on a stock ECU or a chip ECU or a Honda S300. It's just that you're gonna have more chips in the motherboard and some other extra stuff that you got to do. But if you're running a Honda coil on plug kit, you have to wire it in, and on top of that, you have to enable it through Honda. So there's a little bit of a difference between that cop kit and Burton Racing cop kit, Nomi's Industries cop kit, and the Apollo Tuning coil plug converter cop kit as well, and any other cop kit that are using the chip method when you have to pin it into the ECU. So hopefully this information gets out there. I know it's going to be at the end of the video, so comment end if you watch this whole video. I would appreciate it. Lets me know you guys are watching these little longer videos, and hopefully more better content will be coming soon. Definitely going to be giving you guys some more content once we get the ECU back, and then get the plugs that we need and get the first startup on the cop kit. So I'm super excited. Got this for really budget friendly, and hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm out. Peace.